In a restaurant once years ago, I enjoyed a dish of Hungarian paprika chicken. The flavor was so different and delicious that I had this idea that somehow it would be difficult to duplicate at home, so I never tried until today, when I found out this dish is super easy to make, even though the ingredients are very simple. And just so you know, the recipe typically calls for fresh tomatoes, tomato puree, and sour cream, which I didn't have, so I substituted for Petite diced tomatoes and cream cheese, and it still turned out fabulous, which made me realize it's hard to make a mistake with this dish, so without further delay, this is how I made it. I placed 6 chicken thighs in a mixing bowl. You can also use drumsticks or chicken quarters. Thoroughly rub the chicken with olive oil and season with salt and pepper. Melt a tablespoon each of olive oil and butter in a pan that has a lid. On medium heat, brown the chicken on both sides. While the chicken is cooking, chop a medium onion and set it aside. After the chicken has browned on both sides, remove it from the pan and set aside. Keep the heat on the pan going and sauté the onion in the same pan. While the onions are cooking, chop 3 garlic cloves. When the onions are translucent, add the chopped garlic to the pan and sauté for 1 minute to release the garlic into the onions. Add a 28-ounce can of Petite diced tomatoes and bring the pan back up to temperature. Once it's simmering, add 2 tablespoons of smoked paprika and cook for several minutes. Incorporate 2 tablespoons of flour into the tomatoes and onions. Add a packet of chicken bouillon or broth and stir well, letting it come to a simmer. Add salt and pepper if needed. With the base simmering, add the chicken back in. Cover the chicken with the sauce. Cover the pan and simmer on low for 25 minutes. At about midway through cooking, turn the chicken over, being sure to cover the chicken with the sauce. Prepare some rice in a separate pan to go with the dish. I'll be serving this with butter toasted rice, and if you want the recipe for the Food Rack's butter toasted rice, I'm putting the link to the 2-minute video up here to the right for you. The idea is to have your rice cooking while your chicken is also cooking, and they'll be ready to serve at about the same time. After the chicken has simmered for 25 minutes, remove it from the pan and set aside. Add half of a bar of cream cheese or 6 tablespoons of sour cream to the pan. Melt and stir in well. Add the chicken back into the pan and let it cook for an additional 5 minutes. Serve your scrumptious chicken with rice. Top the chicken with the sauce and garnish with a sprinkling of chopped parsley. The flavor of this chicken is surprisingly different than any American chicken dish I can think of, even though the ingredients are very simple, and it tasted every bit as good as the paprika chicken I had in a restaurant years ago, so I was very pleased with how it turned out. And I think you'll be pleased as well. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, happy cooking! To get everything on the Food Rack, be sure to hit that subscribe button.